In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn back. Honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have started a series of linguistics. In linguistics, we have covered so many chapters. We have commenced the chapter and it is about syntax. I told you that syntax is the study of the organization of a sentence, that how a sentence is organized. It is the study of the structure of the sentence, that how a sentence is structured. If you remember, in previous lecture I told you that each phrase has its own head. Now, in this lecture I am going to teach you that adjective phrase and its head, or adjective phrase also contains its head. But before going to share this lecture in detail, I am going to share with you two important points, and I'm sure they will help you a lot. The first point is that how many phrases have their own heads. Almost there are 5 phrases which have their own heads, and I'm sharing them one by one. For example, we have a noun phrase which has its own head. We have a verb phrase which has its own head. We have adjective phrase which has its own head. We also have adverbial phrase which has its own head, and we have prepositional phrase which has its own head. So these 5 phrases, they have their own heads. Now, besides these 5 phrases, the question is, what about other words in parts of speech? Like, what about articles and modifiers? Listeners and audience, answer to this question is, whenever we are talking about articles and modifiers, these are working either with adjective, either with a noun, or with adverbs. In order to modify them, in order to cooperate them, or in order to support them. So these are used in order to modify them. While the rest of them, they are working in order to show and heading. So they are heading their phrases. Now, listeners and audience, come to the main topic, that is adjective phrase has its own head. First of all, I am going to share it theoretically, and after that with syntax, I mean with tree diagram. Listeners and audience, whenever we are talking about adjective phrase, so adjective phrase also contains its own head. An adjective phrase, we have, for example, head, and then we have related words with the head. For example, what would be the head of adjective phrase? The head of adjective phrase would be adjective. So let me write a word that you understand, or phrase that is related to adjective. For example, I am writing the phrase. Let me write it a bit below. The journey. Okay, the journey was a bit difficult. The journey was a bit difficult. Just for the sake of reminding, as I mentioned earlier, that a noun phrase has its own hat. Similarly, adjective phrase also has its own hat. As we said it, before a noun phrase, there will be article and adjective. Now, what would be at the beginning of an adjective phrase? Answer to this question is, before or at the beginning of adjective phrase, there will be either article, okay, or modifier. You know, article belongs to close class in parts of speech, and they are just three in number. On the other hand, modifier in parts of speech, we call them adjective of degree. And modifiers are those words which are actually sometime function with adverb and sometime function and come at the beginning of adjective. So let me share some interesting facts about these. For example, if you see a modifier, if it comes at the beginning of adjective or adjective phrase, then that is adjective of degree. But if it appears before an adverb, then it is related to the degree of adverb. It means it is adverb of degree. So if it modifies adjective, then it is adverb of adjective degree. It is, yes, then it is adjective of degree. But if it modifies adverb, then it is adverb of degree. However, I am talking about here modifier or degree modifier. So, you see now here in this sentence, difficult, that is adjective. And bit is actually modifier. Here a bit means a little. Yes, a little. You may say a little. Okay. Yes. So now this is what? That is degree. Which type of degree? Degree modifier. And this of that is article. Now listeners and audience, I am going to explain it that either it is the head of adjective phrase or not. So what is the head of adjective phrase in this entire sentence? In this entire sentence, difficult, it is head. What is adjective phrase? This complete chunk of word, that is adjective phrase, and the head of adjective phrase is difficult, which I underline. Now syntactically, with the help of tree diagram, how we can understand it that adjective phrase has its own head. Answer to this question is, for example, let me draw it. Tree diagram. We have S. S means sentence. In sentence, we have two basic components, like we have NP. NP means noun phrase, and we have VP, which means verb phrase. So NP, we have the journey. So we divide the NP here in two portions because we have article and noun. So NP, article means the. So that's why we are writing ART for article. N for journey, which is noun. So we are writing N. So combinedly they are NP. Okay, now what is VP here? VP means verb phrase. So here verb is V. You see this is verb. And which type of verb it is? It is linking verb. Okay. And now you see this is adjective phrase. A bit difficult. So I am taking from here the string of it. And for adjective phrase we write the symbol AP. AP means adjective phrase. So now A, that is article, ART. Bet, that is degree modifier. So I'm writing only what? DEG means degree modifier. And what about difficult? Adjective. So I'm just writing A for it. So listeners and audience, now it is completely clear that adjective phrase contains its own hat. Hope that this topic is clear to you. Inshallah, in the next topic, we will discuss the main difference between adjective phrase and adverbial phrase, and we will also clarify that does adverbial phrase contain its head or not. It has or it contains its head, but later on we will discuss. Thank you.